Okay, class, once you have your mask animated and set to subtract so that you can so that you are hiding our actors and leaving the green screen exposed, take that layer and we need to pre-compose it. We need to go to layer, pre-compose, and we need to say move all attributes into the new composition. Once that's done, this is the layer that we'll be running the 3D camera tracker on. So let me go ahead and apply that. Okay, now that it's been applied, there's some settings that we need to tweak in order to get the results that we want. So first we're going to leave it at a fixed angle of view. We're going to leave 100%. These numbers can be adjusted later, our target size and track point. And our auto detect method, we're going to switch that to typical. And we're going to go ahead and check detailed analysis to see if that will help it along. And it already started analyzing, so now that I've made these changes, I've just hit cancel and I'm going to hit analyze. And this is going to take a while, so I'm going to go ahead and stop recording, and then we'll restart once this is done. And it will take some time to complete this process. Alright, well that finished a lot faster than I was expecting. It was able to make that solve in about 3 minutes. I would recommend restarting your machine before you click Analyze on the 3D camera tracker, because if your machine hasn't been restarted longer, it will take 3 minutes just for it to start. So now that we have our 3D tracker camera completed, let's get out our Move tool, our Selection tool, and let's make a selection. So now in the tutorial that Kramer has for us, he uses these markers on this freestanding microphone stand here. But instead we're going to use the triangle that's made from these three on the wall back here. And as you can see, as I mouse between the three of them, it makes a target and it has that plane facing towards us. So instead of using these here, I'm going to use this one, and then we're just going to scoot it closer to us as we see fit. But also you can, well, anyways, we're just going to do that to make sure everything is good to go. So once this is done, we can hit Create Camera. I'm going to hit that, and it's made a camera for us. Also, now go back to make sure the 3D camera tracker is selected, move my mouse over. With that selected there, I'm going to right click, create null. And it's made a null small enough that you can't see it, so we're going to hit S to bring up scale and scale that up. I'm going to make it extra big so it will be visible for us. And this will be what we parent our background to. So I'm going to bring our actors forward. I've already keyed out their background, so they're mostly isolated with a quick key. So we're going to go back over to our assets. We'll grab this, whichever asset, I believe it's the airplane side. Yeah, is our wall that we want. I'm going to bring it down to the back. And let's go ahead and hide our actors plate. So right now it's behind, behind our green screen. So what we're going to do is I'm just going to turn that green screen off. We don't need it this moment. So I'm going to go to our null, hit P for position. We're going to copy all the positions hitting Control C or Command C, or you can simply, I think we can edit. You can do edit copy or something like that. I just hit Command C on the keyboard. Go over to our interior of the plane, and under P, select position, set it to 3D, so it's in 3D space like the tracker. Go to that position and hit Command V or Control V to paste it into space. Okay, now we're going to turn this back on, not this. We can hide that. We're going to turn this on, and we're going to bring, now our plane wall is far away from us, but we can scale it up and solve the problem that its scale is off. That's no problem. And then I'm just going to start grabbing and moving it around as I see fit. So what we got out of that, by copying the position out of the null, what we got that was most important is our Z depth. And in my opinion, our Z depth is actually a little too far back, because that green wall is further back than the that microphone stand that was used as reference. So I'm going to scale this down a little bit. Move it some more. Move it down. Okay, that's somewhat reasonable, I guess. Okay. Now, if we go ahead and I'm going to move this over to quarter quality, and I'm going to hit brand preview, and we're going to skip every other frame so you guys don't have to wait around so long. We'll do every 5th frame. Let's see how we like it. So we'll go faster. So by the end, well, first things first, there's kind of a big gap between our actor Sam here and the wall. So we will bring, we're aware, admittedly, that the Z depth between our actor and the plane wall is too far. So we're going to take this Z depth and we're going to pull it closer. Going to punch in, like, say 6,000. See if we like that. Let's go 5,500. Maybe that's too close. We'll figure it out. We're going to back up. Arrange things a little better. Go to some of those frames. So I want it even closer. Let's try 4,000. Back it up. Now we're going, since we're moving the position closer, we can bring down the scale a little bit, I think. Let's go to our last frame and see if it's where we want it to be. I'm going to adjust that position, get it a little higher. Let's see how that looks at the beginning now. I think that's maybe reasonable. Let's preview it again. Okay, well, you're getting the idea that this solves the fact that we need a camera move done. Now, if you're not satisfied with where that is in Z space, we can instead create a second null by using our track that we made earlier. So let me just turn everything off and bring this back on. Now, when we're on this layer, our green screen layer that we've match moved, and we select our 3D camera tracker, our camera tracker points should come back on. Now we can make them larger if we want to see them better. We can scale them up and down. So what I'm going to do is fast forward to the end of our piece and scale them down. And then I'm going to pick one of the two that's in this black marker right there. And I'm going to select that marker. I'm going to right click and say create null. And then I'm going to scale it up. So that's this new purple one that we have here. We're going to turn on scale. We're going to scale up the null. So it's facing the right direction. I'm happy about that. And if we want to instead use the position of this tracker, I will. So I'll go copy this position. I'm going to paste it onto the position of that same file, or the inside of our airplane. Command V. That gives us a much shallower depth, much more accurate than my first go, the 12. It's got us in Z at 1231. So hopefully that will serve us better. So let's turn things back on. We'll have to do lots of adjustments. So turning nulls off. Turning this off, turning our background on and our actors back on. Okay, now that we have our position adjusted, let's scale this puppy down. Move it screen left and down. And it starts to go off screen if we get it too low, so that's about as low as we'll be able to go. If we have any camera shake, we'll need a little more give up there. Okay, so now that we have our background layer and a new, hopefully more accurate Z depth of that marker that's on the microphone, So we went from like 4,000 back in Z to 1,200. Let's go ahead and preview how that looks. Okay, that's more like it, and we kind of are more up into the glass, a little further along. Now the inside of the airplane feels like it's close to that actor Sam, so that's good. So I think our next steps are to do things like, which you'll go back to the other tutorial to continue, but here's I did find, and I'll include it on the blog post with this video, a sky that matches what those fellows were doing. I'm gonna put that into 3D space, and we're gonna scale it up, and we're gonna scoot it back so that it's back behind the windows. It really doesn't matter how far back it is as long as it's out of our range. And then we're going to scale that back up and move it as we see fit. And I've realized that because this image is small and this tutorial was made before HD was a standard, I believe, I'm just going to duplicate that sky. In the second version, I'm going to move back here. Excuse me. All right, well that should, let's preview that with more frames. We'll see if we can handle every frame at quarter quality. And hopefully we'll play back in real time now. So here it is in real time. So they're using the 3D camera tracker with a reboot of our machine. We got a 3D camera move in about 3 minutes. If you have any issues or questions, respond to the class blog post by replying just inside of the blog, because I get an email anytime someone responds there, and we can just carry on a discussion if people have questions between now and when this is due Wednesday. All right, thanks.